people, by the people. For the culture.
Peace, Jumbo. Welcome to the Vital Hoops Podcast, right here on Black Power Media. My name is Fernando Cardenas, aka International XB. I am your host. This is episode number 63. The first Vital Hoops episode on Black Power Media. It is an honor to now be here on this platform. For those of you who are watching this for the first time, there are 62 episodes over on the Vital Hoops YouTube, so you can always go back and check some of those out. But from now on, the Vital Hoops Podcast will be available right here on Black Power Media every other Thursday, a new episode. For those of you listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we appreciate you. But once in a while, make sure you come through Black Power Media and watch the episode. For those of you who don't know about the Vital Hoops Podcast, this is an independent podcast centered in Pan-Africanism, basketball, hip-hop, and the holistic plant-based lifestyle. So I try to bring together everything that is a part of, my culture and what it is that I do. There will be guests from all around the world, and you can now support the Vital Hoops Podcast at patreon.com/vitalhoops or through PayPal at Fernando Cardenas XB. The links are down in the description. We appreciate you for tuning in. Like I said, this is episode number 63, and our guest today is a brother that I have a lot of respect for. He's an organizer, but not just any organizer. He has been known to be one of the most effective ones in the United States. He's a people's advocate. He struggles on many different fronts. He's the founder of the FTP movement and the founder of Black Power Media. He's also an author, and he is the East Coast coordinator for the Black August Organizing Committee. Today's show will be focused on Black August, and it is an honor to have Kalonji Jama Changa here with us. Peace, Kalonji. Welcome to the Vital Hoops Podcast, right here on Black Power Media.
Yo, that sounds real good, man. I mean, I've been a fan of Black Power Media. I should be a fan of that, but a fan of Vital Hoops. No doubt, man. Honored to be on Vital Hoops. Honored to have Vital Hoops on Black Power Media. You know what I mean? You just went on. I mean, do people even know that Vital Hoops is now on Black Power Media?
This is the first one, so they about to know. If they don't know now, they know.
You're gonna get excommunicated. Folks ain't gonna invite you to the cookout. They ain't gonna break bread with you no more. Hey, man, what's gonna happen?
Hey man, it is what it is, man. Well, welcome to Vital Hoops, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
Honored to be here, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Listen, before we get going, I want to thank you. I was telling you a little bit about this off camera, but one of my inspirations for Vital Hoops was listening to Renegade Culture before BPM was even born. I was in Cuba during the pandemic, and I was listening to Renegade Culture and all that. So that was one of the inspirations for the Vital Hoops Podcast. So now, being here on Black Power Media is really dope. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like all coming together. So I want to thank you for that. And also thank you first and foremost for all the work you do and you've been doing, you know what I mean? For whether it's, political prisoners but just African liberation in general, man. I salute you. And also let everyone know about, the Rise Up Morning show we got going on. If they don't know by now, they sleep. But sleep. Definitely. So thank you for all of that, and I appreciate it, man.
Listen, brother, on the real, first off, I appreciate you. I appreciate what I call the young guns over there on the Rise Up Morning show, man. You know what I mean? For y'all consistency. You mentioned Renegade Culture. Shout out to my man, Minister Server, the hip hop minister. One thing Minister Server always he says that Black Power Media killed Renegade Culture. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be bringing Renegade Culture back again.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
that's right.
Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have Minister Server over here on the Vital Hoops podcast as well, man. We gotta.
He coming. He watching right now. I'm sure.
That's
you know
what's
what I
up.
mean.
That's what's
He gonna
up.
be hating on the sideline.
Much respect. All right,
No
so listen. It is August. Black August.
Yes, sir.
The most important month of the year for us.
Absolutely.
You know what
Yes,
I mean? I want you to get into all of that to break it down because some people, I know that a lot of people don't really understand what Black August is about. They think it's like some kind of a celebration. It is dope that there are many dates, in August, like Marcus Garvey's birthday, the hip hop's birthday, all of that. That's dope. But, we want to talk about what Black August is really about, which is not a celebration, it's a commemoration.
Okay.
And so, I would love for you to please break down, the origins of Black August, what is Black August and the history, what I mean, if you could.
No doubt. Give thanks. It's an honor for us to even commemorate Black August because Black August began with bloodshed, and I say that because, as you mentioned, folks think of Black August like it's a Black History Month or like it's, I don't know, Juneteenth, you know what I mean, or Kwanzaa or whatever, and it's none of that. It's about political prisoners. Black August started in the California prison system. This is the 45th year commemoration of Black August. It began officially 1 year after the murder of, or the assassination rather, of Katari Golden. Katari Golden was a leader in the Black prison movement, a predecessor of Field Marshal George Jackson. He was a strong young brother, a freedom fighter, and they basically had to get rid of him. So he was actually playing football on the yard at San Quentin, and he ended up running into a metal pipe that was sticking outside of a wall, and it pretty much banged his head on it. And the prison officials, they knew that they couldn't really do anything, but they held him as long as they could. Then they took him to another hospital where they held him as long as they could, and then they took him to another hospital where he ultimately met his demise. So it was by design. It was a medical homicide. It was a medical murder like the prisons attempt to do all the time. Right now, they're attempting to assassinate folks like Mumia Abu-Jamal. They're attempting to assassinate folks like Leonard Peltier because they know that these brothers have muscle in their voice. Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly H. Rap Brown, Kamal Siddiqui, these are brothers and sisters like Joy Powell and others who are suffering behind the walls. But getting back to Black August, there are 4 key dates during Black August. First, before I even say that, during the month of Black August, you fast, you stay, resilient, you study, you train, because all of those things are very important. You build yourself up, and it's a month where you look to move forward and move closer to revolution. It's a month that you refrain from, as the last poets would say, partying and BS. Right. You know what I mean? So there are, during the month of August, you fast from sun up to sundown, but there are 4 days that you fast 24 hours. Those particular days are called flea days. And on those flea days, these are days that comrades were assassinated. So the first flea day is August 1st, which is the day that Katari Golden was assassinated in 1978, 1 year before the commemoration of Black August. Black August was commemorated 1 year after his assassination because a group of individuals went outside of the prison walls of San Quentin, and they started this commemoration and vigil of sorts, and they came up with the concept of Black August, and they became the original Black August Organized Committee. They became the Black August Organized Committee, not original, because that's all it is. I got involved in the Black August Organizing Committee 20 years ago, and I became the East Coast coordinator, just for a sidebar. and my organization, the FTP movement, we formed an alliance with the Black August Organizing Committee in 2009 in Los Angeles, California, under the leadership of Chairman Shaka Thenin and myself being the coordinator of the FTP movement. But getting back to business, August 1st is the first flea day for Qatari Golden. The second flea day was August 7th, 1970, when our comrade Jonathan Jackson went inside the Marin County Courthouse and, decided that, as he said, the gentleman will be taken over. So he passed a few comrades some guns, and he decided to take the judge and a few others hostage, and consequently, they got them outside the building, got them in the van. The police were told not to fire on the van, but they decided to fire anyway. And there were a few different deaths, one being, of course, Jonathan Jackson, and of course, the judge as well, Judge Haley. So we commemorate August 7th in honor of Jonathan Jackson. The third flea day is August 13th, and that is in commemoration of the assassination of W.L. Nolan, Cleveland Edwards, and Alvin Jugs Miller. Jugs was a boxer. Folks compared him to Marvin Hagler. He was straight knocking folks out. W.L. Nolan was a comrade and mentor of George Jackson. W.L. Nolan, along with George Jackson, was co-founder of the Black Guerrilla family. So basically, these three brothers were murdered on the yard of Soledad when they got into it with some members of the Aryan Nation. And they was whooping the Aryan Nations, they were serving them basically. I'm trying not to curse, but basically they was giving them the business.
It's all good, man.
No doubt. Okay, I ain't want no problems. I was gonna say part of my French.
You home. Remember, you home, man. You home.
I forgot, man. I get nervous.
You home.
But anyway, so to put it blunt, in the mortal words of Kendrick Lamar, you know what I'm saying? Wop. That's we fuck them up. That's right. What they did to him. They put them hands on him. So one of the a marksman, a correctional officer by the name of Opie Miller, opened fire on these brothers. He ended up shooting one of the Aryan Nation's testicle off by mistake, but he shot these other brothers, and they cleared the yard and kept them brothers on the yard to bleed out. A few other brothers tried to run out there to aid them, and they told them if they go out there, they would be shot. You know what I mean? So they left these brothers to bleed out on the yard.
Can you real quick to give us some context? We talking, what year are we talking?
We're talking, this took place in 1969. Okay. Now, just for the record, this was actually January, and I'm glad you asked that question. This was January 13th, 1969, but it's commemorated during Black August because of folks like W.L. Nolan, who was instrumental in the formation of, the Black Guerrilla family, which several of the comrades, including George Jackson, Qatari Golden, et cetera, were members of, so that's why it's commemorated during the month of August. So a few days later, I believe 4 days later, a prison guard was beaten and thrown off the prison tier in retaliation. So three brothers were accused. They were called the Soledad brothers, including George Jackson, Fleeta Drumgo, and John Clichet. So these brothers became known as the Soledad brothers because, again, they were accused of that murder of the guard in retaliation. Moving along, the final flea day would be August 21st, 1971, and that was the assassination of George Jackson, who we call Field Marshal George Jackson, who was a co-founder of the Black Guerrilla family, but he was also drafted into the Black Panther Party while in prison as Field Marshal of the Black Panther Party. So I want to point that out as well. And of course, when you talk about books, George wrote a couple books, one being Soledad Brother, which was, a collection of his letters, and another was Blood in My Eye, which he completed, I believe, about 9 days before his assassination. And, that's, we commemorate Black August because of these brothers. During this time, when Black August came about, I believe there were 11 prisons in the state of California, and right now there's 30 something, so that's just to give you an idea. But I want folks to know as well, because, people on the outside, when they hear Black August, as always, they want to turn it into everything else, as you alluded to.
Yeah.
And, they want to turn it into some type of party situation. Here in the US, we see things like Black August car wash, Black August strip shows, Black August barbecues, all kinds of crazy shit that don't have nothing to do with political prisoners. So during the month of August, each year, starting in 2015, over 300 brothers and sisters would be placed in a hole for commemorating Black August, because they deemed it as gang activity.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's still people that are suffering behind the walls. So while folks are out here thinking that Black August is just about hip hop, of course we love hip hop, but at the same time, we don't get it twisted. There's a difference between a George Jackson and an Africa Bambaataa. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between a Qatari Golden and a P. Diddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I happen to name those particular, I was about to say pedophiles, those sexual deviants, let's just say that.
Right.
But we can't deny their role in hip hop.
For sure. Yeah, no doubt. I appreciate that breakdown, man. I'd like to get a little bit into, you mentioned, you spoke about how to commemorate, through fasting, studying, training, and what's the other one? Study, fast, train.
Training
and joining an organization, basically fighting, right?
Yes,
fighting.
Joining an organization, refraining from behaviors that are, that are not righteous, more or less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're refraining from alcohol, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I want to point out something too, because I see a book behind you by our brother Stick from Dead Prez.
No doubt. 5 principles.
Yeah. So Stick and I, maybe about 10 years ago, we started what we call the Black August 5K run here in Atlanta. So for years, we haven't done it probably since COVID, but for years we would get together and we'd have brothers and sisters come out and we'd do this Black August 5K run. In fact, Stick designed the t-shirt that we have for it. We'd go out there, have a good time, but along with the 5K run, we have training. So we'd have our brother Balogun training folks in African martial arts. We'd have another comrade training folks in the whole HIIT exercise piece. You know what I mean? We'd have comedic yoga. You know what I'm saying? We had all types of things that deal with exercise, so on and so forth. So as part of that, coming out to this 5K run, you had folks like Wise Intelligent from Poor Righteous Teacher and his entire family, wife, children, and everything, running this 5K run. You know what I mean? So one of the things we do, just for the record, and of course during the month of Black August, there's different types of festivities, activities, so on and so forth. We do have concerts, and you have all types of folks who have commemorated from around the world, from the Native community to, folks like Chairman Fred Jr., to Pam Africa, Theophila Benga, you talk about Sheikh Andrew Jope's partner. These are folks that I witnessed commemorating during Black August. Yuri Kochiyama, who was a good friend of Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? I would see her every year when I would go to Oakland for those commemorations, because I was an official host in Oakland for a number of years as well. But we were commemorating all over the place. I'm sorry if I'm answering questions that you didn't ask and all that.
No, that's perfect, man. So as far as the the fasting, how does it work during Black August? Is it dry fasting? Is it from sun up to sundown? I know during the flea days it's 24 hours, you
Right,
know, but how does
right.
it work? I'm asking for people who may want to,
No
partake in
doubt,
it.
no doubt, no doubt. So there's different level. You know what I mean? Of course, there's some that just fast with no food, no liquid, so on and so forth. That's usually how many of us would do. Right now, mine is kind of liquid because I had some health situations I gotta handle right now. In fact, I put it out there. I was just stung by a bunch of hornets a little earlier, so I had to take some meds to handle that. So,
Gotta get hydrated.
hey man, either
Sure.
hydrate or be dry forever. Um, but yeah, so usually that's how it is, sun up to sundown. If you're gonna drink, folks say water, you know what I mean? Again, there's some people that vary or whatever. I say, get in where you fit in.
Okay.
Because the thing is that the main goal is to do the best that you can do. You know what I mean? A lot of times we put unrealistic expectations on folks. Now, of course, during Ramadan, there's certain situations you adhere to because that's what it is. You don't deviate. But Black August, we would almost say that it would be the revolutionary Ramadan outside of Islam. You understand? So, not in comparison, but just kind of give folks an idea.
Of course.
But another thing you do too, along with Black August, is about the whole buying situation as well. The goal is not to buy from, capitalist forces. If you have to buy, then buy from your own. You know what I mean? So as much as possible.
Getting away
Right.
from that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's revolution.
Yeah, no doubt. And
The best way you can.
and that's what's actually directly tied to where you were talking about earlier when people are out here, doing car wash and all this dumb shit, that's the capitalist system. It got you selling everything, thinking everything is for sale. You know what I mean? Thinking everything is a business.
Right.
And so yeah, we fall into all that type of bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the real, man. And the thing is, I'm honored to be able to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Being in France. And I joke with you and our comrade Boona about the French brothers, you know what I'm saying? But by no means, I mean, that's, indeed it could be, it is the highest insult. But, as comrades, we just, we just talking trash about, the oppressors, you know what I'm saying? Which oppressors we under. We always thought that the French was, we always just saw them as so weak.
So soft.
So soft. I don't know why. It just I don't know, man. It's like I mean, but they all soft. All of the oppressors are soft. But the thing is they're united. So that's the difference.
Yeah, they're organized. Yeah.
They know who their enemy is.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. You mentioned a little bit the Black August, the organizing committee and how you and your organization FTP kind of merged in 2009, and you're the East Coast coordinator, right?
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So again, I got down to Black August Organizing Committee in 2004 when I met my comrade and OG Shaka Thenin, who made his transition a couple years ago, but him and our OG Kamasi, who some folks may have seen on RSTV, he's the historian for the Black August Organizing Committee. These are the brothers that I learned from. You know what I mean? And there's some other folks, shout out to Mama Ayana and folks like that, but these are the folks who I learned directly from. And they're hardcore. And one thing about me, for folks who do know me, and if those that don't, you'll learn, is that my OGs, and when I say OG, I mean original guerrillas. I'm not talking about original gangsters. So our original guerrillas, I usually, for some reason, I don't know why it is, but I always gravitate towards the most, the resistors, you know what I'm saying? The fighters, I was joking the other day. I said, talking to someone, I said I should get a shirt made that said, all my elders dropped a cop. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't, I just, for some reason,
That's dope.
yeah, the brothers and sisters that I rock with. So when I hear these fools talking about, you know, I'm not my ancestor, I laugh because, most of the people that say that, indeed, you're not your ancestor because you punks. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You
that's.
soft.
I always thought that was some disrespectful shit, man. With all
Yeah,
everything that our ancestors been through, man.
of course, of course. I mean, I hear folks talk shit about Dr. King, but to
Yeah,
me, you got to be super brave to walk through Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. These are places where the lynchings take place.
yeah.
So for you to go to places like that and say you're nonviolent, you're a bad dude.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Some of us don't even want to go out there armed because we know these crackers is crazy.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So if you to go out there and say, look, we just gonna be peaceful. We coming out here with old ladies, with babies, so on and so forth. That's the realest shit you could imagine.
No doubt.
I
Yeah,
mean, you as a freedom fighter, you're not trying to bring your wife, your children out to no battlefield, out to no, you know what I'm saying?
of course.
When it's super thick, you might go out there,
Yeah,
but your job, you trying to protect the family. You might come home from war, but your goal is not to say, okay, boom, I'm bringing my wife and children out there because you already know the first motherfucker disrespect. You know what I'm saying? You ripping your own locks out and losing your mind.
that's right.
So, yeah. So for
That's right.
King to be such a young man, because again, he was assassinated at the age you are now, I believe, at 39.
39. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Same as Malcolm, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So think about that.
Yeah.
Think about Walter
Brother
Rodney.
didn't
We was
even
talking.
make 40.
Walter Rodney never saw your age. He was 38. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Chairman Fred, Patrice Lumumba, Frantz Fanon, all these brothers.
Sankara, right? Is
Yes,
Sankara? I don't think
Thomas
Sankara said
Sankara.
40.
Nah, I think he was like 36.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, so when you talk about your ancestors, like I say, I know you're not my ancestors. My ancestors was about their life. You know what I'm saying? And you on some sucker shit. For you to even come out your mouth and say something like that
Yeah.
tells you how weak you are.
That's right. Yeah.
That's how I see that.
And Dr. King, man, they have him. It's so disrespectful what they do to Dr. King in the States, man. Like Dr. King was
Yes,
a revolutionary, man. They got
so
him,
indeed.
they out here talking about him as a dreamer.
Right, right,
But that's
right.
what they do with our our heroes and freedom fighters, man.
Man, they got a statue of Harriet Tubman at the CIA headquarters. You know what I'm saying?
Disrespect, man.
And you got folks talking all this other crazy shit. They concerned about everything but that. That should be an uproar.
No
Man,
doubt.
listen, if I were to be martyred and I was of the caliber of someone like Harriet, and I knew that you motherfuckers let them put my statue at the CIA headquarters, I haunt all you motherfuckers. Every time you say my name, I'll
That's
have
wild, man.
pins and needles stuck in you. I mean,
The
that's
disrespect.
totally insane.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, and we love it.
that's
But
crazy.
let me come through your hood with the wrong color on, or let me talk about Kamala Harris, and I might get dropped. You know what I mean?
People have it twisted, man. I'm not gonna mention names, but I see people, known athletes with tattoos. They have Malcolm, Dr. King, and then they have Obama right next. Like that's a continuation.
And listen, I saw a brother with a shirt on like that, and I said, "Man, what's wrong with your shirt?" He said, "What you mean?" I said, "Man, your shirt is like," I said, your shirt is politically retarded." He said, "Huh?" I said, "How you got Malcolm and Obama on?" And he tried to come with some deep, empty bullshit. So I started laughing. He said, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "Because you was joking, right?" I mean, I knew you wasn't serious with that bullshit. I mean, like, come on, dude. I mean, it's like, it's insane. You can't have Malcolm on the same shirt, the same platform, or coming out your mouth at the same time as Obama, the cat that literally bombed Africans and other indigenous people across the planet. These drone strikes. I'm talking about sometimes up to 300 something people a day.
That's right.
Like it was,
Yeah.
you know. second nature. Then go hang with Jay-Z.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right. And people they celebrate, a lot of people celebrate Malcolm, but they don't even know his politics. They don't even,
No,
understand what he stood for. You know what I mean?
no, no.
But
And Malcolm wouldn't be standing for them.
exactly. Exactly.
You know?
For sure, man. But just to get back a little bit to Black August, man. First time I heard about Black August was thanks to the hip hop festivals that were going on in Cuba. Because I'm Afro-Cuban, for those who don't know. So, back then, at that moment, I actually wasn't there. I was actually in the States, but all my peoples over there would tell me about it. They were telling me about the importance of Black August and all that. So that was really dope. But I think what we spoke on today is important to not get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to understand what the roots of it. And really, I think it's important for everybody who's serious about revolution to partake in Black August. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do the studying during that month. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're not a part of an organization, look to become part of a revolutionary, I would say, Pan-Africanist organization. Because it's serious, man. But I appreciate you bringing all that history. And I definitely want to I'm going to have down in the description some links, you know what I mean, you have a good breakdown on the FTP movement website, and a couple more links, for people to get some more info on Black August, on the history of it. And do you have we like to do this here on the Vital Hoops podcast, we like to do book recommendation. So if you have any recommendation, it could be something that's connected to Black August, that would be dope for the listeners.
No doubt, no doubt. I would say one book, must reads for the month of Black August. Even if you read them before, it's always good to go back. I would say one would be Soledad Brother, as I mentioned, George Jackson. I don't have it right now in front of me, but also this book right here, which you can't even see based on
yeah, blood in my eye, blood in my eye.
Blood in my eye. That's wild. It's disappearing.
Yo,
but you
magic trick over there.
Yeah, like blah. Anyway, blood in my eye.
Yeah.
You'd have to look for it. This is crazy. It's like that green screen. There you go, right there. Bang.
Yeah,
Blood in My Eye by George Jackson. This is a book that you must read. Very important pieces.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I would say those books, and of course, if you're really gangster, you can tiptoe over to The Wretched of the Earth by Frantz, Fanon, which is never a dull read.
That's right.
But
you can never read that enough times. That's another thing. These books, you gotta sit down with a highlighter, and you gotta take your time. You know what I mean? Because shit will go over your head. So like you said, definitely read it again, read it over, study these things more than just reading.
Absolutely. So when you're talking about young folks, and we talk about Black August, we're saying Black August is commemorated for the martyrdom of brothers who ranged in age from 17 to, I believe, 29. I'm trying to think how old Qatari Golden was. I could be wrong, but I believe that he was younger than George when he was assassinated. I could be wrong, but if not, he would have been slightly older. But if I'm correct, memory serves me correct, we're talking about all of these comrades were between the age of 17 and 29. So you have these brothers that never saw 30, let alone 40. You understand? So we have to let that sink in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you talk about George Jackson, you talk about a brother who went in for a robbery of a gas station, for $70 robbery of a gas station. I believe he went in at 17, 18 years old. You know what I mean? And by 29, he was assassinated. Jonathan going inside that courtroom, 17 years old. You know what I mean? So, when you talk about revolution, there's folks right now who still haven't caught up to the theory part of these brothers, let alone the practice. There's a great interview I would say suggest folks to check out on Black Power Media. It's with my OG Kamasi, and he talks about some of the Black August history. He talks about how him and George Jackson met, you know what I'm saying, and how they became cool, so on and so forth. You know, George Jackson was, you know, he's a brother who was self-taught. Not only did he teach himself about revolution, but he created his own bastard style of martial arts. So he trained his brothers in prison in his martial arts style. It's not too many people you know that can actually, you know, without any formal training. This is what this brother did. You know what I mean? And according to the comrades, he was a serious dude and he was devastatingly effective. So he wasn't just, you know, when I'm saying he was assassinated at 29, that doesn't mean that he was some young wild card. He's someone that was serious about what was going on.
No doubt. No doubt.
He understood revolution, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate our ancestors, our OGs, like you said, our original guerrillas.
No doubt.
Before you go, man, I appreciate your time. Could you speak a little bit about what you got coming up? I know a couple books, documentary. We got Beyond Cop City, right?
No
book.
doubt.
Can you talk a little bit about that and how people can get that?
See if Beyond Cop City disappears well. This book right here is co-authored by Dr. Joy James, one of my writing partners in crime. It is a collection of works that we did, from writing for Harvard University's Inquest magazine to transcribed interviews that we did on Black Power Media from Guerrilla Intellectual University or RSTV. And it is something that I think is a serious piece. The artwork, the cover, was put together by one of my FTP brothers and one of our co-producers on our film Organizers New Food, our brother C. Flux Singh. He's also in the video for Rafa Siafu as well. You know what I mean? So he's a all-around artist, martial artist, graphic artist, hip-hop artist. You know what I mean? He's an artist. Yeah, so this book right here, it actually drops during Black August on August 20th in the US. It was published by Pluto Press out of the UK. And, you know, we have copies here. I actually introduced it. We did a sneak drop a few days ago at this National Cop City Conference. So it's been received pretty well. We're grateful. It's called Beyond Cop Cities: Dismantling State and Corporate Funded Armies and Prisons. Because we think that folks look at cop cities like some new phenomenon. And the reality is the world is a cop city. The world is a police state.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So we can come with the new terms for brutal realities if we want to. But at the end of the day, you know, it's still a police state. You know, here in Georgia, I just saw a robot cop last night. You know what I'm saying? They have robot cops. You know what I'm saying? They just ran into one on the street. They read your license plate, facial recognition, you know, so on and so forth. They have robot dogs. You know what I'm saying? They have like 4 of those at the stadium, I was just told. You know what I mean? They have in the malls, the mall guards, as they ride around in their security cars, they have license plate checkers and stuff like that. So while you're in the mall spending your money, if you got a warrant or whatever, when you come out, they got something for you. Right. The Walmart, so on and so forth, facial recognition. You know, so there's no cop city. You know what I'm saying? This is a police state. This is what's going on. You know, in the city of Atlanta alone, they have over 20,000 cameras just on the streets. Now, it don't stop crime. You know what I'm saying?
That's
but it's there.
Speaking about that, man, not to cut you off, man, but now with the Olympics being here in you know, in Paris, there's a bunch of new cameras that went up for that, you know, and they obviously they call it for that, but we know they're gonna keep them shits up once this shit is over.
Yeah. That's the jump off. That's what happened here in Atlanta when they had the Olympics here in the 90s. I mean, that was the jump off. They used that as a tool. You know what I mean? So they collect this money to build up their police states. You know what I mean? In fact, we might want to research and see, okay, boom, what are some of the cities that these Olympics have taken place in, and what does it look like, you know, in regards to policing?
Right.
You know, because these motherfuckers are slick. I mean, you're talking about, like I said, you know, the U.S., while folks are yelling about cop cities, the U.S. has over 900 military bases around the world. Who could do that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How is that even possible?
That's right.
You know, the U.S. is 5% of the world population, and it controls 25% of all resources on the planet, and 25% of all prisoners on the planet reside here in the United States. You know, so this is what we're dealing with.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. There's another book that you got coming up, right? Is that with Daruba?
Yeah. So we have a book, which is a collection of interviews done with Daruba Ben Wahad, who is another one of my OGs. And as I jokingly but serious say, it's given me a lot of these gray hairs that I now have. My hair was darker than yours, and then all of a sudden,
Hey man,
who knew?
that's how it is.
I'm only 25, y'all. But I think that you know, we're kind of editing it right now. It will be out February, Black History Month. We decided to drop Cop Cities during Black August and the you know, the Daruba book during Black History Month, since folks like to have their reference points. So
Comrade Boona is going crazy about that one already. The one with Daruba Ben Wahab. So
I might put the picture of him and Boona in the book, so Boona could just pass out.
if you do that, it's a wrap for him. We losing Boona.
We're gonna forget it. Boona gonna be walking around with shades on. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. He gonna come on, rise up with some shades on.
Making demands, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait, I don't agree with that. Oh, changing the format, it's gonna be Boona and the Boonettes, you know what I'm saying, instead of the rise up. I already see how this thing's going.
Word.
You're gonna be like, I'm the only African from Africa. You know what I'm saying? He already set tripping, so you know.
Yeah.
Like we artificial.
right.
Like we wanted to be stolen and raped and colonized and pillaged. You know what I'm saying? Like we some privileged Africans. Thanks, boy. But anyway, that shout out to our good brother and comrade.
No doubt, man. Shout out to Boona. Shout out to our great, you know, Daruba Ben Wahad.
No doubt. And, shout out to the Rise Up Morning Show, man.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying? Because I know Isaac watching right now, like, yo, they don't shout me out. No doubt.
Shout
Isaac,
out to all the hosts, man.
Yes, Kimber, Ife.
Yeah. And then we got some new hosts coming up.
No doubt. Natasha, the whole nine, you know what I'm saying? So definitely, you know, we appreciate and you for your work. And we're definitely honored to have Vital Hoops on Black Power Media. As you know, it's been a journey for BPM. We're still standing, you know what I mean? And we're gonna stand. Black Power Media is reloaded, for folks that don't know, because I'm running into a lot of folks like, we can't find you. We're still here. It's Black Power Media Reloaded on YouTube, and we coming hard. You can't find us because it's by design, because the state don't want you to find us. You know what I mean? You know, we too black for BET. You know what I mean? But yeah, man.
Appreciate you, Kalonji, man.
Appreciate you, comrade.
Much respect, man. Appreciate you, man. Black August, this is important. Thank you for breaking it down. We're going to have some links down there as well for everybody to check out. And that's it. It's a wrap, man. Long live the dragon.
No doubt. Long live the dragon, man. Y'all stay strong out there. From the Bronx, from Brooklyn, to ATL, to Paris, to Grenoble. You know what I'm saying? We out here.
Struggle is global.
Uhuru. Sasa.
All right. We give thanks to the brother Kalonji. This was episode 63, Black August, Long Live the Dragon. Study, fight, train fast. Get your political education, join an organization, do what's necessary, do what has to be done. We appreciate you for listening, for watching. Support the channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You can support the Vital Hoops Podcast on Patreon, PayPal. Go to vitalhoops.net. Go to blackpowermedia.org. And make sure you tune in to the Rise Up Morning Show from Tuesday to Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Vital Hoops, for the people, by the people, for the culture. Uhuru.